The moment Evelyn shrieked, "I'm reporting that manipulative fiancé of yours to the authorities." While waving her phone in our cul-de-sac, I pegged her as just another meddling suburbanite with too much time on her hands. But when my fiancée, Clara, responded with a serene, "Please, go ahead. I could use a word with my team," I realized Evelyn was about to crash headfirst into a wall of consequences she couldn't imagine. What unfolded was a takedown so precise it felt scripted, proving that envy can burn hot, but karma's fire is merciless. I'm Dr. Nathan Carver, a 38-year-old neurosurgeon, and this saga exploded 6 months ago in Pinecrest Grove, where manicured facades hide ruthless ambitions. Your support fuels these real-life tales of justice prevailing. And if this story of an entitled schemer's downfall sparks bridges that gap between satisfaction and shock, let me know you're here for it. I'd built a life most would envy, a thriving career, a waterfront mansion, and Clara, a woman whose intellect and poise outshone anyone I'd ever met. At 34, she called her job public sector consulting, but there was a steel in her that made people snap to attention. Restaurant hosts gave us VIP treatment without a word. Security guards nodded respectfully when she passed. Her sleek, unmarked SUV and late-night calls about crisis management hinted at a role far beyond paperwork. When I asked about her work, she'd flash a cryptic smile. "I solve problems." Her habit of scanning every room for threats and her clipped, procedural way of handling disputes suggested a life spent in high-stakes environments. Evelyn Marwood moved into Pinecrest 3 years ago, her divorce settlement funding a gaudy estate across the street. A glamorous woman in her mid-40s, she wore her wealth like armor designer heels, flawless auburn curls, and a smile that screamed ulterior motives. What I didn't know was that she'd set her sights on me long before I arrived. Single, successful, and new to town, I was her golden ticket to a perfect future. She'd spent years curating a persona to snag a man like me, attending medical conferences, studying brain surgery jargon, even mastering golf to bump into doctors at the club. My engagement to Clara wasn't just a disappointment, it was a personal affront to her meticulously laid plans. Our move-in day was a spectacle of efficiency, Clara orchestrating movers like a general while looking like she'd stepped out of a fashion shoot. Evelyn watched from her balcony, her face darkening as Clara gave orders. "You didn't mention you were engaged," she called out, her tone sharp enough to cut glass. I introduced Clara, my fiancée of 8 months, and Evelyn's eyes narrowed, assessing her like a predator sizing up prey. 8 months, she muttered, as if I'd betrayed a sacred pact. No engagement party invites made the rounds. Why she expected an invite to my private life was beyond me, but it hinted at her obsessive stake in my world. By noon, Evelyn was at our door with a folder of neighborhood standards, her smile tight as she criticized Clara's SUV for lowering the vibe of Pinecrest's luxury aesthetic. "A doctor's partner should drive something classier," she said, her eyes lingering on me. Clara, unruffled, asked for the legal basis of these rules, her tone calm but razor-sharp. Evelyn bristled, insisting on standards befitting a surgeon's status. The implication was clear. She'd envisioned herself in that role, and Clara was an interloper. Over the next week, her attacks grew bolder. She called Clara's yoga outfits inappropriate for morning walks and our small dinner gatherings cliquey. One evening, she ambushed me by the garage. "Some of us have earned our place here," she hissed, not just parachuted in with shady government gigs. How she knew Clara worked for the government was a mystery who'd never mentioned it. Her "it's obvious" excuse felt like a cover for something darker. Evelyn's vendetta turned sinister when she filed a vandalism report against our welcome party, claiming Clara's guests damaged her property. Officer Daniels arrived, but the second he saw Clara, his demeanor shifted from gruff to deferential. "Ma'am, should I run this by your office?" he asked, hat in hand. Clara's response, "Log it as a false report," Daniels, was delivered with the authority of someone who outranked him. I pressed her later, and she shrugged. "We've collaborated on security protocols." The vagueness only deepened my curiosity about her true role. Evelyn's obsession hit a new low when she started rifling through our trash, alleging Clara's government job couldn't fund our lifestyle, implying fraud. Caught photographing our license plates, Clara confronted her with chilling precision. Ms. Marwood, you're violating Municipal Code 532.9 and state stalking laws. Evelyn, undeterred, ranted about exposing Clara's corruption, her eyes wild with the conviction that discrediting Clara would make me hers. Her final move was a community safety meeting where she planned to unveil Clara's crimes with a stack of public records. Standing before 25 neighbors, she accused Clara of abusing her power to bully residents. The crowd held its breath as Clara rose, badge in hand. I'm Director Clara Vaughn of the city's Emergency Response Unit, she said, her voice like steel. Your claims are slander, false reporting, and harassment. Retract them, or face arrest. Evelyn snapped. This isn't right, she screamed, tears streaming. I spent years preparing to be the perfect wife for him. She stole my life. She dialed 911, demanding real cops arrest Clara. 3 squad cars pulled up, and Lieutenant Hayes addressed Clara as director, asking if Evelyn's call was a mental health issue or a crime. Crime, Clara said. Arrest her for defamation, false reports, and stalking. As Evelyn was cuffed, she wailed, I was meant for him. Her public confession of a 3-year plot to marry me stunned the crowd. Evelyn got 2 years in jail, a restraining order, and lost her home to legal debts. Investigations revealed her chilling fixation, dossiers on my life, photos of women I'd dated, and plans to neutralize Clara. She'd even hacked into government databases, flirting with criminal networks to dig dirt. Pinecrest became a fortress of peace after her fall, with zero crime and soaring property values. Clara's quiet power reshaped our community, and I saw why I'd fallen for her. Envy can blind you, but crossing the wrong woman can destroy you.